doing really well. Hey, Tristan.
Hi, Tristan. It's Gail.
Tristan, hi, I'm Donnie Cates.
Hey, Kristen, this is Tim Seeley. Hi, Tristan, it's George Perez.
Hi, Tristan.
Hey Tristan, thanks so much for reading, and I hope you continue to enjoy the books.
Hey Tristan, where the hell are you?
Tristan, where are you?
Tristan, where are you?
Tristan, where are you?
Hi, this is Rex Morales.
Hi, I'm Paul Story.
Hi, my name's Jamie Tindall.
Hey guys, this is Joe Prado.
I'm comic book artist Freddie Williams II.
Lee Palmiotti.
And I'm Amanda Connor.
I'm Ralph Tedesco from Zenescope, and you're watching Nerdette's Newsstand.
And you are watching Nerdette Newsstand.
Nerdette's Newsstand.
Welcome to Nerdette's Newsstand. You're listening to Nerdette's Newsstand.
Nerdette's Newsstand.
And you are watching
Nerdette Newsstand.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Nerdette's Newsstand!
Hello, everyone. Goodness gracious, it is quite the late live stream, but that's okay. It should be fun anyways. What I'm going to do is basically what I did last week. I didn't have time to really go through and do anything that I wanted to this week. It's been a busy week, and the first part of this week is going to be busy also. So I wanted to let you guys know that I won't be streaming the trial until at least Wednesday. I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow, dentist appointment the next day, so that should be super fun. But I'm excited anyways. I'm excited to go. So hopefully I'll be back Wednesday streaming the trial. I'm gonna miss a lot, so you guys got to keep me up to date, right? But I don't know what I was gonna say. There was a but there. I swear there was. But yes. Which of your favorite is those creators? Ooh, let me think for a second. Basically, I wanted to do a stream recapping everything that happened to go into the trial, and I didn't get to do that because I was supposed to have Dr. Soup on, and I felt really bad. I'm like, can you do noon instead? And can you do 8 instead? And she's just like, I'm like, it's okay. I'm just gonna do disagreements. I didn't have anything planned, and next weekend I want to do a 30K celebration and have like a whole bunch of people on, and I thought that could be super fun, but I didn't have time to plan it, so you guys get to hear all of this insanity. And then yeah, there was a but there, that's right. And basically yeah, we're just gonna kind of have a super fun stream. Hopefully we get some actual disagreements. I will get this posted up in here. But yes, I'm looking forward to what this brings this week. But it sucks because I'm gonna miss. What's my stance? Grim Jr., what's my stance on what? I don't know if you want to ask that question. I have a lot of strong opinions. No, I'm just kidding. Alright, so I'm gonna pin this. And hopefully, no. I almost tried to join my own stream. Why won't you let me pin it? Okay, quit it. Somebody write something so I can pin it. So it's not the bottom thing. Just write la ta da ta da. Come on, you can do it. Won't let me pin it. Alright, you guys are jerks. I'm just gonna write something. There we go. Now will it let me? Oh, you son of a bitch. There we go. Pin message. Did it pin the correct one? No! God bless the world! Okay, hold on. Every single time I go to click it, it doesn't let me. It won't let me pin it. Robert, can you pin it? Or Hooded Justice, Ahmad, can you pin it? Or do I have to do it? Because it won't let me. Hold on. Let me go through my dashboard. Pin? No. Don't join your own stream. Oh my god. I don't know if I have to do it or if you guys can do it. Mods can't pin it either? That's some bullshit. Come on now. Let me see if I can do it on the computer. I don't know why it's being a giant jackass today. Come on. I hear my own voice. Now I gotta wait for the chat to load. Are you fucking with me? Wait, okay, so that will let me pin Joseph's. Is that the correct link? Is that the actual link? Because if that's the case, that would work. Just send the link only people who only people who ask for it? Wait, what? Why won't now? Okay. Okay, I got this. Actually, it must be working. Replace pinned comment. There. Now I was able to do it through my computer. All right, we're good. We're good. Insanity. Kind of done. There we go. Okay. Haminous, how are you?
Good, good. Yeah, that's the right link.
That's what?
I mean, nothing. I just want to say congratulations.
Ah, thank you. I can't believe it. I never thought I would ever grow.
Well, you work hard for it, so you deserve it.
Thank you. I seen your channel's getting some views too. That's awesome.
Yeah, a few views. Yeah, a few
That's
thousand views
awesome.
of on the short videos.
You know what's funny about that is I never used shorts before. I very rarely. Like I would do my comic polls of the week or the best of the week. I use that for shorts, and then I start using shorts for little snippets of basically what's going on in the trial, and it's like, okay, that's how I grow. Okay, if that's what I got to do, I'll put out a couple shorts every day. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that must be it. In my case, I mean, the trial is raging on. People are searching for it on YouTube. Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, and
People are. Did you see the Saturday Night Live thing?
yeah,
Yeah. I was like,
go ahead.
I see people are upset about it. I'm like, I don't. It's Saturday Night Live. You kind of expect bad content from them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, the funny thing is they didn't show Amber Heard on the sketch.
Yeah, that was really that. Yeah, I guess I could get why someone might be a little bit
And
annoyed with that.
And they painted Elaine kind of smart, kind of intelligent, when she has been doing a really shitty job. So
yeah, she's been crazy.
Yeah, she's been crazy for muffins. That's for sure.
I want some fucking. I still haven't gotten to have any muffins yet.
Oh, by the way, did you saw the link that I sent you to your email?
Yes, yes.
Just exactly like Curry said about the behavior of
Oh, okay. I haven't checked. I haven't been able to barely get in my email all fucking week. So yeah.
Okay. I won't say anything else. Check it out.
Okay, I will for sure.
I was like, damn.
I gotta look for sure. Do you have a disagreement?
No, I was just checking out if it was the right link.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it.
No, you are welcome. Okay, I'm gonna take my leave now and let someone else to disagree with you. And be ready
Thank you,
to.
Haminous. You are awesome.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Come on, guys. Disagreements. I know somebody's got to disagree with me. Come on. Should the Supreme Court overturn Roe v. Wade and other cases involving women's autonomy rights like birth control? Because legal precedent no longer matters, then there's no stopping them from going after, well, birth control. from going after gay rights, from going after anything. Hello, Ingleteen. I seen you posted a video yesterday. I haven't got a chance to. Hello, what a justice. I haven't got a chance to watch it yet. But all I seen was it said something about Perch thinking critical. I'm like, oh no. Oh, maybe I'm glad not to deal with that drama. But yes, Jesse, no. If legal precedent no longer matters, it's a fucking scary world that we're living in, right? Like at this point, I kind of just gave up on my channel. Oh, that stinks, Black Phoenix. You can totally do it. I believe in you. If you start doing this stuff, it really looks like scary world. No drama. Okay. I don't know. I haven't been able to check out shit this week, so I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, left the comics world behind for a minute, just for a minute, and it implodes now. Wait, someone called Perch a pedo now. Oh, for fuck's sake! Hello, Ingleteen. Are you really Ingleteen? Okay. What's up? What's up, buddy? Buddy? I don't know if this is a real person or if this is someone trolling. Yeah, I don't know. Man, maybe it's the late stream.
Hello.
Nobody disagrees. Oh, hello. How are you?
There we go. Okay, I see what's going on. It's a new thing. I do StreamYard, so it's a little bit different. I'm not used to this setup. I didn't know I had to turn on my mic and camera. So here I am, like, what the hell's going on here? Oh, what is up?
Nothing. Just being lazy, milking the community for content. No,
yeah, basically that's it. It's like, hey, come on and give me something to talk. I do that every Sunday night too. I call it open line. Whatever you guys want to talk about. Yes. But then you jumped into Roe versus Wade. I was like, oh, okay, we're going to be talking about comics. And then no, okay, Roe versus Wade. It wasn't ever a constitutional right. It was actually decided by the Supreme Court.
There is a constitutional right to privacy.
What they did was they tied it into the privacy thing. But the thing is, the rights aren't going away. They're just going to finally, for the first time ever, be able to be voted on. Oh my God, please don't
say go to the states.
But that's the truth of it.
There's already like 26 laws or 26 states with trigger laws in effect.
Because a lot of people don't like it when you break it down. Like I am not for taking it away altogether. I think that if there is an emergency situation and a doctor has to save the life of a mother and that's a way to do it, absolutely. A lot of people when you get into the late term abortion, California actually started, I don't think it's come to a vote, but they were bringing up a bill where you could abort a baby 30 days after birth. That's murder.
That's murder.
I'm
talking about to the point of viability. That's where my line is.
When you break it down, a lot of people don't like abortion once a baby starts becoming a baby. Some people, once you tell them, well, what about a heartbeat? Because then it's alive. Yeah, it was a lot of people actually bow out. What did the kids say now? They nope out once they find out there's a heartbeat. So this is something I think finally people will be able to vote on it. I think that's so much better than the Supreme Court's not legislation anyway. And so they shouldn't be making laws. How do you feel about
like federal mandates with the vaccine?
The vaccine, I'm the same way. I don't think that they should be telling you what to do, but you're going to go with the body thing here. And
yeah, isn't that a bit hypocritical?
This is the biggest argument that we usually have when it comes to, this is why I hate getting into the abortion argument, because people who are for abortion are arguing women's choice, which, it's not pro-choice because you're choosing abortion. That's what we're talking about. It's not pro-life. You're pro-abortion or you're anti-abortion. So let's keep the language clean. So what ends up happening is you have obviously your side that is talking about the woman, and we're talking about the baby. So we're never actually having the same
The problem I have, and I totally
Mhm.
get that. The problem I have is once the baby is born,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna generalize here because it just makes it easier. A lot of times when it comes to Republicans, conservative people in general, don't care once the baby's born.
That's
Are they going to
actually not
start
true.
Are
No,
they
you
going
go-
to start implementing more social programming?
You know that actually there is plenty of social there are a lot of social programs, a lot of social programs that are actually backed by Republicans as well. One of the things, of course, you say is that adoption is so much better, and a lot of Republicans adopt. You know, it is, but yes, that thing is. I've never actually seen any evidence that it's like, you know, the baby's born, let him die. But even still, flat out, Republicans don't like social programs. Let's say that Republicans don't like social programs. That baby's born, he has a better chance at a good life than if he's dead. Flat out. There's only one way a successful abortion goes for a person, and that is with a dead baby. But if
not a baby, fetus or a zygote.
But it's a baby.
You're trying to conflate terms here.
No,
if you
I'm
want to
not.
use actual terms, you're talking about a fetus. And I'm not talking about late term abortion. I don't want people to think that I am for that.
But how far
because
are
I
you
am
willing
absolutely
to,
against
how long forward do you, because actually me and my wife agrees with you. She's okay with, you know, when it looks like a peanut.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, but that peanut, give it 2 months.
That peanut is still, you're talking about 13 weeks before it's even the size of a peanut.
But the thing is give it a couple months and it's a baby. So we're always talking about that. In all honesty, when my wife and I actually thought that it would be we were not in a good financial spot, and we went ahead with one. And after that happened, I felt like I failed as a father. Later, Gail and I were in a better financial spot, and we thought about having a third child. And one thing, the guilt people never talk about, the fact that Gail still sometimes cries about it, because we never had that third child. Because how can you say, and we already did say, we said, Ashley, you can live. Elizabeth, you can live. That third baby, we said, could not live. That was a horrendous amount of guilt.
I can't even imagine.
When it comes to, hey, okay, now we're ready to do a child again, we couldn't do it. We couldn't do it. We couldn't go forward because we had said and this is probably, you know, you always, our comic book versions of hell, you always have people punishing themselves. My hell will be the fact that I did not stand up for my child, because I did not really I went through with it because my wife was afraid.
Right.
And
I can't even imagine. Like, I don't even want to argue with you right now. I kind of just want to give your wife a hug.
I do too. Whenever, but in all honesty, she sometimes, you know, she's a little rough about it. I am constantly, because I feel I failed as a father when that happened. But yeah, I never like to get into the abortion argument because of two reasons. One, we're never having the same conversation, and two, there's no way on earth that I'm going to change your mind and you're going to change mine. It just never happens.
You're right. And the issue, I think, is and I tried explaining this last week. My biggest issue is I don't want any government to be able to tell somebody what they can do with their body, whether it is mandates, whether it is birth control, whether it is who they marry, or if they abort or if they don't. The government having control over your being is my issue with this. The government shouldn't get to decide. Morality aside, that's fucked up to me. Letting some higher being decide.
Well, in all honesty, there were it was the Supreme Court that said, look, because of the goodness, I forget the amendment, the right to privacy, you can have an abortion. The Supreme Court also, and by the way, and everybody likes to point out now that Ruth herself said this was bad law, this was bad precedent because it wasn't very well written. What's going to happen now is, yes, it will go back to the states. Each state will have their the right to vote on whatever they want, and whatever they want to, maybe even if they keep it legal, whatever regulations they have to be on it. Yeah.
Would you be okay with forced vasectomies?
Forced vasectomy, it's a whole different matter. So
it is. I'm just curious.
Yeah. Because once again, you're arguing from the point of it would be my body.
Right.
But we're arguing from the point of it's the baby's body. So that's actually what's going on. It's in the mother. Obviously, nobody can argue that, but it's more. It is not
krypton,
we're not doing anything to you. We're doing things to the baby. You made the same decision that guys do, that they get stuck, of course. Well, I didn't want a baby. Well, you did want the sex, and sex creates a baby. And that goes both ways. A lot of times the woman, for some reason, is let off on that argument, like you guys don't have responsibility. And the thing is when you have sex, even if you use a condom, on the box it says 3% ineffective.
Yeah.
Or they do it the other way. 97% effective. They don't say actually 3%. And you're taking a 3 out of 100 chance that you're going to have a baby afterwards, and you're agreeing to it. Otherwise, you need to call the police.
I mean, but they're not agreeing to it. Let's be real. I'm not talking about people my age and older. I'm talking about younger generation. They're not agreeing. They're not.
You're not saying you're not having sex to make a baby, but you are doing what makes a baby. And they do know that. I hope they do know. What are they not teaching kids in school these days?
I know, right? Like bills that in Florida that take away rights to teach that kind of. No, sorry, had to. Sorry, go ahead.
You know, I'll just level. You don't want to go there.
I know I had to. I'm sorry. If it was anybody else, I wouldn't have. But I know you're okay.
Yeah. But that's what, like I said, I'm not a big fan of the whole abortion argument. You want to argue whether or not the law is right. Unfortunately, legal it is. I love the argument, by the way. Somebody put forth, I don't know where I heard it first, but it was that no one is forced to give any part of it's not legal to force anyone to give their part of a part of their body to save another body. So if you use that logic and such, then of course abortion is legally moral, or at least legally right. And I was listening, I was like, that's actually one of the best arguments I've ever heard towards it. And unfortunately, a lot of times it ends up being the moral argument, and then it's just, what side are you on?
Right.
You've got your sense of moral
standpoint, because I know my own morality.
Yeah, I don't look at you as an immoral person. I just don't. I'm sorry. We agree on a lot of different things, but I hope you don't see me as an immoral person.
No. That's why I knew I could tease you about that.
In spite of the 12 ladies buried in my backyard, I am a good person. Gosh darn it. Yes, of varying ages. But yeah,
of varying ages.
The whole like I said, this one, in all honesty, I think it's a good idea that we're finally able to vote, because you're going to actually hear what people.
Do you think our vote matters? Have you seen the gerrymandering that's been done lately?
Well, it's not done lately. It's been done throughout the history of our country by politicians on every side of the aisle. So when I hear that, it's my age is going to show here, because and I get you and we're like what, 20, 25 years. I don't know how old you are, but
I'm 35. Shut up.
You're 35. Okay, well, no, that's halfway to dead. You're still young compared, But the thing is at this point, I've seen everything. And not everything, I'm sure, but it's like, this again. this
Right.
again. All right.
Yes.
So when I hear about it, it's just like, okay, it's their turn. After a while, what happens? The Democrats take over and they things up. The Republicans take over. They fix some things. They fuck up. The Democrats come in. Sometimes they fix things and then they fuck up. Of course, my political history shows that I see the Democrats screwing up more. Therefore, my whole thing when I voted, I said, which one is going to keep us free? Which one is going to keep that Constitution? That Constitution,
and look what happened,
is the greatest document in the entire world. So I know that conservatives actually like to keep it a lot more than the Democrats. The Democrats are going after free speech now. The Democrats are, they're going after a whole ton of our rights. They've always been after the gun rights. So
it's going to ramp up now with shooting.
The what?
It's
there was a shooting. Therefore, they're going to go after my tinfoil hat has always been, whenever you get a big freaking news story, I'm always, especially if you don't have a line on who did it, like, wait, this guy did it? Are you sure? I always think, because the rhetoric about the gun rights comes so freaking quick and hard right afterwards, I always wonder if it's a plant.
No,
because
don't say that. People died. I know. I understand you can say that or you can think that, but hearing about what happened about that.
Yeah. I know nothing about this new shooting. I do not know anything. So I'm not using this one.
Okay.
This is, but that is something that I've sometimes thought. We were at, I picked my daughter up. She works out at a sandwich shop in Disney Springs. And so we're driving out of Disney Springs. And I go, well, that's not what you want to see. And my daughter goes, what? She looks up and they're over by all the protesters. You've got the Gadsden flag, the pro DeSantis flags and all that. And right in the middle of them, getting yelled at, by the way, is a couple of guys with the Antifa gear on, but it's not Antifa because they're holding the Nazi. It might be Antifa because these people were getting yelled at. So it made me think that nobody around them wanted them there, and what ended up happening actually happened. I think when I see that, we've actually seen it in the Trump rallies and such. Somebody will show up in Nazi garb, they'll take a picture and they say, hey, look, there's Nazis at the thing. And that, I think, is what happened outside of Disney. And I'm thinking, what the fuck? You seriously? No matter, first of all, I think it's tacky, even if you're for DeSantis and you're true about it, even if you're doing that, don't stand outside freaking Disney. The whole point is you don't want to indoctrinate. Excuse me, I got the word wrong. You don't want to do that to kids. So why are you out there doing that to children? To indoctrinate them into your political beliefs. And I'm like, just leave the outside of Disney alone.
I don't understand that argument at all from these people, because they're worried about like gay representation, but there's been literally kissing and all of that in Disney movies forever.
Oh, for that. Okay. No, that's not what's going on outside.
Then I have no idea then.
But for the movie thing, I got a little bit to say about that, because I say it about comics as well. I always show that, or at least I talk about that. Few years back, there was a convention, and Mark Russell and Steve Orlando, Vita Ayala are there. Now, Steve Orlando did stand up, and he says he actually kind of argued against this, but Vita Ayala flat out said that I believe that wherever there's a question, we should queer up DC Comics. And of course,
she doesn't have the power to do that, though, really. Except maybe in the Amazons.
No, absolutely. They have the power to do that, because all they have to do is say, you go on the freaking Twitters where everybody's afraid of people and say, wow, we tried to do this with the LGBTQ and they did not. So DC obviously has a bad time with, and it doesn't matter how many.
Then she'll lose her work. Or their work, sorry.
No, they won't, because if they do that, if they get fired, then all of a sudden DC is the company that fired a whole bunch of queer artists and writers. because they wanted to put queer characters in the book, and all of a sudden the Twitter mob's all over them. And for some reason, corporations are actually believing.
That's what I was gonna say. Why not? Why let, what is it, like 9% of the population's on Twitter or something?
I know, right?
Why let that bother you? So I never understood it. I get it. I was on there for some time, and I think it's more cesspoolish than anything else I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
And
Twitter is
I
not
suggest
a happy
everyone get off it.
Twitter is not a happy place. I use it to tell people, hey guys, here's a video. Hey guys, come on to the live stream.
Right.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Let me just get this super chat really quick. I'm sorry. World War Wit, thank you so much. A vasectomy is not the same thing because it's not necessarily reversible, and yes, it is. And force would require kidnapping, assault. Yeah, I imagine that it would. It was just an example, but I look at it as the same thing, because if a woman has an opportunity to have an abortion before, they're doing heartbeat bills and stuff like that, before that chance, then fine. But you're at that point forcing this person to give birth, to have a child, to have that baby in them for 9 months. And I look at it very similar, but of course not. It's not the exact same thing. It was just an example I was using. Mm-hmm. But thank you so much, World War Wit.
Yeah. To get back to it though, I was going to equate it with what Vita Ayala said. And I'm sorry, but when you do that kind of thing, and this is what we found with the Disney executives, you're not talking about story. You're not talking about plot or things you want to do with to move forward the line or anything. You're talking about oh goodness, what's the word? An agenda kind of thing.
An agenda of one.
Yeah,
maybe.
Everybody but Steve Orlando agreed with this, and we're seeing it.
Of course they did. It's public,
and we're seeing it now across the line. You are literally getting the queering up of many characters in the DCU, and it has nothing to do with story. They're not looking to move these characters forward. They're just looking to do this.
Can you give me an example? Because last time you could not.
Now we have Vixen. I believe Catwoman just got hit. Superboy.
Vixen, that's an Elseworld story, so that really doesn't count.
It's out there now.
It's not even the first time Vixen's been gay.
Okay.
It's not even the first time. She was gay in Bombshells before.
And Bombshells? Well, everybody was gay in Bombshells.
Bombshells was so fucking good, though. Come on,
I loved it. I loved it.
I want more. We've got the Omniverse, right?
I was very happy.
Why can't we have a Bombshells universe?
I was very happy to meet Margaret Bennett. She was at a. I actually went to the convention. I went to go meet. I think it was Dan Abnett or somebody, and he had a booth there, and he's gone. So I was like, oh, that sucks. Was it Dan Abnett? It was somebody. Anyway, I went to meet somebody else, and there's Marguerite Bennett. I was like, oh, you did Bombshells. And she kind of perked up, smiled, talked to my daughter a little bit. And I accidentally outed my daughter. I didn't know she wasn't. I was like, wait, you're not out? And because I was talking on my live stream about her. And I don't care. To me, it's just, this is who you are. Therefore, it's okay to talk. But she got mad. But yeah,
Aww.
she got to talk to Marguerite.
Why are you okay with Marguerite Bennett making Vixen gay, but not Chief Franklin in an Elseworld story?
Oh, no. Well, first of all, I was just mad about the way it was done. The Bombshells.
You didn't like Harley? No, what was it?
Oh no, that book.
Eat, Bang, Kill. Oh my God, that's one of my favorite books this year.
Really? Yeah. Well, different tastes and all.
I'm a girl though. Like, it was made for girls. Let's be real.
Okay. If you want to go in that direction, sure, fine. I believe that all comics are made for everybody, and you can pick up.
Of course, but there is a target audience, right?
Who you're writing to. With some, there are obviously, and it's it just it wasn't for me. I did not care for it.
But then, can you give me some examples of who besides Vixen? I know you said John, which he's a new character, so that is kind of what
I
everyone
did
asked
give
for.
you some examples, and we already know about the we already know about the Tim Drake thing. So yeah, I have given
Tim's the one that I was like, I felt like it was better done than some, but it also didn't. He had about 10 years, I would say, of queer coding. But
no,
before
he didn't. He had 30 years of dating women. He was 30, 30 years of dating women. So
and then
you know what?
About 10 years of queer coding. Yes, I will. I absolutely agree. Yeah, I would love to see him with
come
Stephanie.
on, like really. The thing is you. Hey, honey, how you doing? My wife just walked in and she looks tired.
Aw.
You okay? Okay. I'm talking to my friend Nerdette here. God, that's great. Anytime you walk out after this, I feel like I'm a freaking abusive husband and everything. I'm afraid what people are going to say. She's worked in a kitchen for our entire marriage, and she'll burn herself. So she'll have big bruise here, big bruise, all over where she burned herself. And once or twice I've had people like,
oh my goodness.
I mean, she's burnt. No.
Poor thing.
If anything, it goes the other way.
That for a while.
Yeah, I don't want to look at your busted.
Long, so you told people I was a cutter or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. I did joke. One time. Somebody went, "Yeah, she's a cutter."
Oh my gosh. Being
married to me is really difficult. That's. I do have to admit that. Yeah.
Robert said, "How many people characters are in DC? What's the percentage of canon gay characters?" I actually did the math last Friday. It was 7%.
Hey, that's 10%. Actually, you know what?
We have good DC writers like Williamson.
Yeah, that is actually within that's within the number. Hold on, I gotta ask you something.
Yes.
There's someone in your, I on my own channel I read the comments all the time. So there's somebody in there. Who is it who likes to make assumptions here? Like, oh, he actually said this, therefore everything about him falls into this one little spectrum. By the way, the bird will never shut up. I wish the bird
Wait, I don't know who you mean. In my comment section or your comment section?
Dakota loving this guy probably. You don't know me, Dakota. Come on over to my channel. Here's the thing. I'm inviting you. Tonight we have an open line. Come on over to my channel. If you have a mic, jump on. We talk about whatever the hell. Tonight I want to invite Howler Mouse, Eric, and all that and have some conversation.
Drawing, probably. Maybe.
Say again?
Drawing.
I'm what?
It may have been figure drawing. I don't like because I know you.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there is not just like hateful rhetoric. I know that you're a good person. I know that we have a lot of disagreements and but we've never had an issue with talking about them. I just think there are people with platforms, maybe larger than both of us combined times 10, that do have the hateful rhetoric, that do spew the bullshit. You care about comics.
It does seem that way, right?
Yes, and the thing is, I've never doubted that you actually cared about comics. Never once in my life. But these people, yeah, I don't think a lot of these people have the best in mind. I do think that some representation is going to help with getting a younger generation, and I think that's maybe where they're going for with like Aquaman the Becoming and Son of Kal-El. Whether or not that is actually going to work, we'll have to wait for the market to decide. But I don't necessarily think that the older fans grasp it. And I feel like I'm in that middle ground.
I just did a video. I'm going to post it probably tomorrow. I just did a video where, and I think I said it the same thing in the Perch video that you were talking about. I understand I'm 52 years old. So I am reaching the end of my relevancy when it comes to companies. They just don't want older people. They're not looking for us. You're still in it. You're still there, lady, for another 17 years. So that's cool. But I understand. I'm on my way out. I mentioned this. Comic books are changing, and they are changing in ways that personally people like myself may not like. But when I see the black pills and they're just like, comic books are dead, comic books are doomed, you're so doomed. No, dudes, no. Oh, and by the way, Spiffy, I did notice you there and love you, man. I would never actively ignore you, but there you go. I do read the comments all the time, but it's I realize that, and yes, they do need to bring in new blood. That's right. Obviously it. And you're right, having the representation would help, but unfortunately we're not really talking about when you have people who are against certain things like myself. Unfortunately, the argument becomes about having them there, when really what it is how they're written. Think about, and I think we talked about this the last time we were I was on here, we talked about Sandman for a bit. Sandman, by today's standards, is incredibly woke.
So woke.
But
it's so good. Ahead of it.
So well written, nobody cared.
Yeah. It was these characters that, like, I could sit here and talk about Sandman forever. It's one of the best books ever written, in my opinion. It is these characters that are so queer. It is these characters that are not only queer, but strange and funny and unique and amazing, all wrapped into one, and that's why people loved it.
Well, the main characters, of course, were incorporeal, so they were everything. You know, the Dream could be, at one point he was a cat, he could be male, he could be female. Same with Desire, and most of them could be all sorts of stuff. So you have that, but it wasn't just them, it was also the side characters, where you would have everybody from every walk of life. But the difference between what's going on there and what's going on here is representation versus presentation. And
I like that.
A lot of characters that are being written or put out there, hey, look, they're gay now, are just the worst stereotypes. It's not forwarding any kind of movement. It's in my opinion, kind of knocks it back a bit, because you have them, they're like the worst 1980s version of the neighbor gay person walks in, hi, and okay, here we go. All right, it's just, and they're not actually, it's not actually being represented as human, as fully fledged human beings. It's just, if you are a gay person in a comic, you know what all you are is gay. And I talked to you about the other history where and Mr. Miracle, and I just don't trust those guys anyway with characters. They're just not good. Where they only write black characters as black, they only write gay characters as gay. They don't give them anything other than that, and that's one of the problems, I think. And I think that we just don't, maybe people on the conservative side, if you, I guess, for lack of a better term, for this, maybe we don't iterate that point enough or well enough, that it, because I do hear, when we were in OGCG, which I still respect, this new shit I don't, but this as much anyway. But this one, when we were there, we would have some people arguing, you know what, she needs what was it? Riri Williams needs her own book because, she's Ironheart. She needs to be her own person bringing Tony Stark. And then the other people have, it sucks because they've got this teenage black girl replace it. As soon as you said that, you come off racist, boom, your argument's over.
But that's the thing. I don't think you are, but I do think there was a good subset of the population that didn't want to see your characters.
I think that there absolutely were people. I've run into a few of them, and it was like, oh my gosh, yeah.
I've seen them in the comments.
The worst thing, I actually got into a huge argument one day when I asked people, don't at me in your posts anymore, because they were posting up like Kamala Khan getting banged. Like, she is a 15-year-old kid. So do not at me in your freaking posts when you're posting about I don't want to be a part of it, because to me it was always a argument of visual, We wanted to show that we're right. They're the crazy ones. We're not. And no,
Yep.
you are
Now that
the
makes
freaking
you look crazy.
Yeah. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm kind of doing the old man thing and veering off. By the way, I love the person. I missed who it was, but I love the person that said 52. You don't look a day over 65. And the way I'm feeling today, thank you for that compliment. Yeah. Sorry.
That's awesome. No, you're totally fine. I got somebody else waiting in a couple super chats though. Do you mind if I switch over?
You're gonna boot me?
Yes,
Have a good time.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm so sorry, guys. Ingleton is good. He's good people. I'm trying to get to. There we go. Joe, thank you so much. 62% of babies put up for adoption are adopted within the first month. Imagine how that percentage would decrease it would decrease to an absolute insane amount. I don't know how it's gonna go. It's kind of scary. Not scary in the fact that I don't like the idea of control. That's I'm gonna say it over and over again. I don't think anybody should make up your mind but you. At Motortamicon, I saw a lot of cosplayers, a lot of happy guys dressed as female characters. Sadly, I see them get mocked and trashed by as anti-SJWs. That's really silly if that's your favorite character. So this is a continuation. Why is female cosplaying male characters okay, but males cosplaying as female characters not okay? I don't see it that way. I don't care who you cosplay as. If that's your favorite character, you go for it. But I would say, I don't know. You'd have to ask a dude that, and that's the only thing I can think of because I don't see an issue with it. Like somebody dressing up as like Catwoman. Like I've seen that kind of shit before. I don't know. That's really weird. Thank you so much, Robert. Thank you so much, Joe. Oh boy. This should be interesting. We have young yellow Ripa Flash something. I can't read the rest of it. Let me put the names on screen so I can see what your entire name is here if you're there. Young yellow Ripa Flash GG Nordic. Hello, how are you? Okay. You work out your mic issue here, and I'll get this super chat. Joe, thank you so much. That was from the agency in Texas. To clarify, super chats have limited characters. Aha. You know what? I sent a super chat the other day, and I did notice that I had to buy a $5 one instead of a $2 one because they really try to get you with that. But yes, yeah, as soon as the actual decision comes out, and we go into the States, yeah, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. I don't know who you are, but we can't hear you. You're more than welcome to go out and go back in. Sometimes that actually helps, right? I don't know why it does, but sometimes it does. I'll try taking you out and adding you back in, but anything? I want to change my color here. I don't know. It's got some like shit color. It must have been an Amber Heard video. There we go. Okay, so nothing. No disagreements, really, guys? You're getting correctly? Really? Well, that's weird. Let me see if that's any better. I don't know why I would be getting... Mic is a bit spotty. Okay, 1 second. Let me go... Okay, I think I might have fixed it. Is that any better? Let me know if that's any better. How about a while show more masculine male gay characters who... Well, we do. We've got, Midnighter and Apollo. I would say they're more masculine. Can somebody let me know if that's in? Maybe that was Yellow Spider-Man. Maybe. Jodico, you have a disagreement? You have a disagreement? Hello, hello, hello. Is nothing working? You guys gotta let me know if my mic is okay. Ah, Raymond. Congratulations on getting 30K subs, Tristan. Also, I gotta sleep now because I gotta wake up at 2 a.m. I'm so sorry. Oh, well, thank you so much for stopping by, Raymond. Get some sleep. Go, go, go. Go, 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 go. All right, let's try these again. We got 2. I just tried Joe. So hopefully, Joe, you got it fixed in by the next Reese. 30K. Thank you so much. Let's see. 30K. So well done, Nerdette. Thank you so much, Reese. And you have been here forever, which is so fucking cool. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Still mic issue? Yellow Ripa or oh boy. Yellow Ripa GG Roddick RK fan for life. Is this a real name?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Hello? There, now I can hear you.
Hi, Tristan.
Hi, how are you, young yellow Ripa gay something fan for life? I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's me, Shelby.
Oh my god, I should have fucking figured!
Well, I have an axe to grind with you. I think it's time that we settle this once and for all. And the person who's right, of course, naturally ends up with the biggest clout, I guess.
Yeah, that's right.
No, it's I'm actually on my lunch break, but I just had it's not like a big disagreement, but it's something that I think that happens sometimes is that the argument that something sucks because it's woke, and then I think you would sometimes say, oh no, it sucks because the writing is bad. And I think, yeah, the writing is bad because it can be woke. Isn't that the same thing?
Wait, are you saying that bad writing equals woke?
Or it can be bad writing because it's woke. I don't know if it's...
There's plenty of woke properties that prove otherwise. Like
yeah,
The
and there's
Sandman,
also...
like Saga. There's plenty of ones.
But in this case, it would be like times that you see the writing be having to be like degraded and made bad and into that
That's
typical
just a
like
bad
woke thing.
writer.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like a bad writer who can't write a story properly because they want to put something in front of it. And by that I mean that they decide to put like first the idea of what they want to make, the message, and then how it works out. And the only and like a few examples would be like what was it, X-Men Green? You remember that one?
Yeah, that's just
And
bad
how...
writing. That's Jerry Duggan. Yeah, bad
yeah, but it
writing.
was bad writing because he decided to put first the whole climate change aspect of it instead of making it work. Like you can make it for a hero to think that they're in the wrong because they want to do something right, but he clearly didn't do that. He clearly like put it into a perspective that nature
And
girl
that's
is
what a
right.
bad writer does. They don't know how to write it correctly. There is so many woke properties that are well done. There's a difference
Yeah, of
between
course. Of
yeah.
course there are.
So you can't say it's just bad. It's bad because it's woke. That's ridiculous.
But when you compare something like that to other material that he wrote before, and not even him, like other writers, other directors,
They were
when you
probably
compare
better writers.
maybe, but it's when we're talking about this specifically, specific one, like woke things that fail. Do they fail because they're just bad, or because they decided to push the whatever they wanted to push before, like actually putting the basis for a good story? That's what like, and I don't know if it's more like a paradox because at the end of the day you end up going back in a circle thinking, oh no, it's woke because it's bad because it's woke, and it's
No,
woke
it's
because of
a
that, and like
lazy
that.
criticism. There are reasons why writings are bad. It could be a fail on a fundamental character traits or world building or any of those features you expect in a story. That is why something fails. Saying it is woke is lazy as fuck, honestly. It's just saying, I don't like this because I don't agree with its messaging. 99% of the time. Things are bad writing. If you look at anything almost by Brian K. Vaughan. Look at Recount. Look at Saga. The V for Vendetta. These are great properties that are beyond woke. Look at even going into video games. I use this all the time, but Detroit Become Human. It is so woke. And it's phenomenal.
I don't like Detroit Become Human. It's kind of boring.
Yeah, there's something very wrong with your brain then. It's the best video game ever besides Batman games.
I play Telltale games for a passion, and I found but I found like Detroit Become Human like boring. I don't know. But when I mean that argument, I'm not talking about good properties. Yeah, of course there are good things that have a woke message, but when I mean it's bad because it's woke, I'm referring to the bad things that are like bad. Like people in general believe that they're bad, and now it could be like people believe either it's bad because it's bad writing or a bad like structural basis of storytelling, or it's bad because that structure of storytelling is bad because it was undermined for a message. That's what I'm saying. And yes, of course, Saga is great.
How
Like,
to implement that message without making it done well. It is shitty writing at the end of the day. It is shitty direction in cinematography and in whatever property you're talking about. But
yes,
it doesn't
but
necessarily.
what's
Most of the time, the word woke right now is used simply to kind of blanket anything that's black or gay. Like it's woke, it's black. It's woke, it's got a gay character. That's pretty much all you see anymore. The fact that people are even trying to say that Sandman was never woke shows how fucking stupid they are.
Was it woke by the time that it came out?
It was
Because
beyond. It was ahead of its time.
It was groundbreaking. It was like no one got it, but it clearly talked about issues that are there that people just didn't acknowledge. But once you go into the future and those issues have most likely become part of everyone's normal life and they understand them and they choose to accept those kind of peoples, that kind of muddies the water for it to be oversaturated. And of course, it's going to be called woke because everyone thinks that everything that's gay or person of color or whatever, they're of course they're going to think that it's woke. But when I say
prove my point, it's a lazy criticism. It's silly to me to see everything. I mean, I used to. It's not so bad anymore because I unsubscribed, but everything was goddamn woke. Like it's lazy. At some point it's lazy if you're making multiple videos a day calling stuff out for being woke when you've got people going, "Oh, but manga's not woke." The fuck it ain't. What are you talking about? It's just
manga is very woke. But
very
when
woke.
Okay, then can I let me ask you in the sense of woke, when we had the whole stream where we talked about it, I think we never came to a conclusion, but there's clearly the dictionary definition of woke, of being aware of things, and and there's the internet definition that it's basically Mary Sue, character of color, pandering, blah 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 blah. So what's do you have an example of something that's woke based on the definition from the internet?
Sandman.
No, but I mean the dictionary definition. I mean the new kind of definition that the internet decided to put on.
Like pandering and gay? I don't know. What do you mean? No, I don't. Woke, I don't have a good woke. Maybe Ghostbusters 2016. I don't know.
Yeah, Ghostbusters 2016, maybe Terminator, Charlie's Angel, New Mutants.
I heard Terminator was good, actually. I haven't seen
New
it yet.
Warriors. Which one? The
New
Dark
Warriors
Fate?
never came out.
Yeah, and if they didn't came out, why?
Arcane is woke. That's a good example. In Fantasy I Die. I don't know why it never came out. Probably because of all the backlash it received. But
Yeah, but why was that backlash? Like
everybody hated it.
Yeah, and that's why I believe that in this whole thing about having like conversations, the most important thing to ask is why. And I know that it can be repetitive, and it's like, oh, okay, you're just trying to make a point, but it's like, why didn't New Warriors come out? Why did people hate it? Was it because of it's clearly like some kind of pandering to the new audience of young people, or is it because people just saw, yeah, this is gonna be shit?
It was by Christopher Cantwell, and that explains why. He's not a very good writer. You got to do the 5 whys, right? It's something super annoying, but it helps. Usually by the time you say why 5 times, you're going to get the answer. Why didn't it come out? Because people were mad. Why were people mad? Because the designs were terrible, and they looked, the little video they did for it seemed like pandering garbage. Why did it seem that way? Because the writers are bad. Because the art was bad. There is a reason but why that didn't come out, and it's probably smart. I don't think that'll ever see the light of day.
The art style was, I wouldn't say it was bad. It was kind of meh, but then the whole point will be that then did New Warriors fail or never came out because it was woke or because people just didn't like it?
I'm assuming because the backlash from not only the conservative leaning side, but the LGBTQ community.
Then I guess it failed at what it tried to be. And that's like an important example. It's like I know that you always say you always give examples of good comics that happen to be woke. Okay, yeah, that's great. Of course, there are materials out there, but when we're talking, especially with all of these outreach channels that make videos on things, you have to acknowledge, okay, there are examples of bad things that happen to be woke or that are what they say that happen. Then that's why. Because that's also like something else that you said, that it was like everyone who's complaining, or no, I don't know if you said everyone, but the majority of people who complain about, let's say, like something from Sandman or another comic or maybe a series, they probably weren't fans of having consumed that material. And I don't think that works because, I mean,
I do. A lot of the times you see, and you can clearly tell that they haven't read the source material, or you can clearly tell they're only in it for the culture war. I don't give a fuck about your culture war. I care. The culture war's lost, for one. That was lost a long time ago. But I don't give a fuck about your culture war. I care about comics. At the end of the day, I want the best for that. So if I'm going to criticize something, I'm going to base it off of what can you do better, and not just say, oh my God, this is woke, I don't like it. No, why did it fail? Why didn't it do well? And a lot of these people that you see, I just did a couple weeks ago, I did a reaction to a Young Ripa video when he was talking about Sandman. It was clear as day to anybody that's read it that he had no idea what the fuck he was talking about. But his audience doesn't care because they're in it for the culture war. That's it.
So like you 100% say that is like they haven't read that material at all. Like all his
you could tell by that he couldn't. When we went into the comments afterwards on the stream, there was a little bit of pushback. So I'm not saying everybody, but the majority of the audience in something like that is in it for the culture war. Yeah. I'm not saying everybody, but I'm saying a good portion of it.
Because I don't know, maybe it's just me that I don't believe that you can definitely like say that just because they don't get the same thing from the same material, they don't haven't consumed it. Because if you say that, then you just end up saying
when you don't know the characters' names, it's pretty obvious you haven't read it.
Oh well, yeah, you're probably right about that. In some aspects, because I have read it, I don't remember every single character's name. I really I forget every single thing that I read when I don't really care about it. So that's why for me it's kind of hard to remember some stuff about comics, especially. Like I can barely remember names from characters that I read from or like watch movies about. But I still believe that I'm a fan and I
oh, yeah.
I can get something from it. And
But you also don't look at everything and go, "Oh my god, it's woke. Oh my god, it's a." I mean, sometimes. Let's be real. Sometimes you do, but
yeah,
you're not the worst offender. Robert, thank you so much. Ghostbusters 2016 failed to bad writing. The cast and director could have worked. So not woke. If all aspects of it failed, then it's cause of wokeness. No, I haven't seen it yet. I just use that as an example because I know a lot of
it's an
people hate
example
that
that everyone
movie.
says. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
like
haven't actually seen it. The problem
I've
with
seen
any
it.
anti-SJWs assume intent to criticize. Yes, yes, I
I
can
mean,
agree to that.
I believe that Ghostbusters movie is like the worst thing, and it's like it's not even funny to like as it's bad, so bad it's funny. It's like just depressing. It's bad.
It
But
is
the thing is that
bad.
a lot of people say, oh, it's bad because it's all a whole cast of women and women aren't funny. But then you go into the critical perspective, and it's like you can read the original script. I think there was a leak where the script came out, and
Mm-hmm.
it's bad. It's like not even the original like storyboarding is good. Nothing is good. And when you decide to go into analyzing those bad materials of projects and things that came out that are bad, that people say, oh, it failed because it was woke. If you want to analyze it, yeah, it could be that it's woke, or it could be that it got fucked up because these people just can't make good stuff. And there are definitely good stuff out there that are woke.
Yeah, for sure.
There's 100% that. But in this whole conversation of, I don't even know if it's a culture war. I don't think it was lost. I don't think it's become the thing that it's. Sorry if I'm babbling a little bit. I'm kind of high, but yeah, it's like, oh, I'm getting high, and I can be on a stream. That's great.
That's awesome.
No, I'm saying like in this whole perspective of culture wars, it's. I don't think it's ended. I don't think no one lost it. I don't think it's even like it's even escalate. I just think that it's escalating. Okay, I feel like, and if we're seeing this from the perspective of both sides, is like, oh, left versus right, leftists, right people, whatever. Everyone's doing a move. Everyone's escalating the situation, and I don't believe that there's any way to stop it. Especially since we saw it that what happened with Florida, and that's kind of like cultural internet things merging with actual.
That was with Florida. That was political posturing. That was
Yeah,
look how
but
big my dick is.
Yeah, but I definitely believe that it's because one side started look how big is my dick is, and the other side was like, no, look at mine, and the other one's like, oh, look at mine.
I'm wondering if
and then it just goes like that.
DeSantis is going to bring up bills like he did for CRT about the great replacement therapy after the shooting. Huh? I doubt it.
What shooting?
In Buffalo.
Oh yeah, I heard about it. I'm actually there, so people talk about that, but I don't know. I kind of feel like people will use these things that are happening right now to argue for their side. Like right now, I saw a bunch of videos that were basically like, "Oh, you want to talk about the Buffalo shooting? Okay, why didn't you talk about the Waukesha car accident, the parade? Why didn't you talk about the subway shooting that happened?" And not even that. Like a few days ago, I'm pretty sure that there was a mass shooting where 21 people got shot and no one talked about it. But now this is different. Where was I'm gonna send you. I can email you the news report. I don't remember it, but it was definitely sometime this week. And that's the thing. It's like you want to say that. Well, yeah, because that's the point. Like you don't hear about these kind of things because they're just small time things happening. The Waukesha, the Milwaukee, no, the Waukesha was the parade.
Waukesha was all over. If you're saying they didn't talk about that, you're crazy.
You mean the one about the guy who ran over a bunch of people in the parade with a car, right?
Yeah, that was all fucking over the news.
Yeah, but the argument is like you don't use the same perspective that you're using with this shooting, especially also the subway one, where that could have been worse. and someone
Were
who
those
lives
were
near
those racially motivated?
the Waukesha guy had a bunch of Facebook posts about
They had
BLM. Or no,
Facebook
he was a
posts, but
supporter.
did he literally write a fucking
Yeah,
manifesto about Tucker Carlson and the Great Replacement? Okay, it really wasn't
I
Tucker
don't know.
Carlson.
Even that the guy from the subway shooting, he had a bunch of things blaming interracial relationships as the downfall of black people or something like that. Oh God, I'm really high. Sorry.
No, you're totally fine. I'm kind of jealous. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my God, I feel so tired. But that's like, and I'm not saying that to excuse this guy who shut
No,
up.
I get what you're saying. You're saying the double standards there.
Yeah, and it's not even like I don't defend the right for saying, "Oh, this one matters because it's black people shooting at white people, and those black peoples have ties to BLM." But at the same time, I'm not gonna say ignore that. Like, it's a double standard, okay? And when you can see it, it's definitely like annoying, and that's it. It's just that. And in a few more weeks, something worse is gonna happen, and we're gonna concentrate on that. Like no one's talking about the Waukesha parade accident or whatever they called it, where a guy drove what was it, a van or a car? He drove it into a crowd of people. I mean, no one's talking about it.
Yeah, but don't
No.
say they didn't talk about it. That was all over the news for weeks.
Yeah, but the argument was that, oh, why don't you treat this as a hate attack or hate crime? Why don't you do that
Because
with the
from my
guy from the
understanding,
subway
that
trains?
wasn't racially motivated. Just because he had Facebook posts, I don't know. I honestly would have to look it up.
Yeah,
But
and
this
that's also
guy
what I'm saying. It's like,
wanted to kill black people because he thought that they were taking over, and he talked about white births compared to black births, and about the great replacement therapy, which everybody will fucking talk about CRT, but they won't talk about that. Sure.
yeah, so why don't they talk about that? And then why
Because
don't they also talk about the other
it goes
things?
against their narrative.
Yeah, everyone has a narrative. Everyone wants to
Of
push their
course.
own version of what's right, what's wrong,
Mhm.
and now that I think about it, I think this thing that happened with the Florida bill, which I think that's the moment that the internet culture is starting to merge with actual politician things that can affect us, and to that I just say, yeah, this is escalating. It's just gonna keep escalating. It hasn't been lost. It hasn't been won. I mean, the moment that it wins is when one of the two sides wins, because I don't think no one's gonna back off. I don't think the left is gonna be like, oh no, you know what, conservatives are right, and I don't think the conservatives are gonna say the same. So what
They're all
else
a
is
bunch of
there to
crazy
be?
bitches.
Yeah. So what do you do? What do you say?
I don't know. I can't.
Nothing. You just let
Either
it
one of
escalate.
them at this point are fucking irritating. It's all back and forth. Yes, I know where my politics lean a little bit more left than some of my audience, but god damn, I cannot stand some of the ridiculousness that comes out of the GOP. I just can't. I just
Sorry.
triggered half the chat. Okay, Shelby, do you mind if I
No.
bring Joe in?
Yeah, guys, 420. Ah, yeah, it's not 420. Oh, my birthday is in a week. Okay, see you,
Happy early birthday,
Tristan.
Shelby!
Okay, see you guys. Later. Don't kill the world.
Shelby's
The world
so
will
high
kill
right
you.
now. He's so high right now, he has no idea what he's doing. No, I'm just fucking with you. Thanks, Shelby. Shelby's so funny. Joe, hello. How are you?
Hey, how are you? Yeah,
I am
my first
good.
disagreement is this interface is confusing.
I know.
When
I
I
used
was
to use
holding,
StreamYards.
yeah, I'm normally used to StreamYards with Lucas. Oh my goodness, my hair looks like a mess. I look like an idiot.
You're
But
totally fine.
I was typing in your private chat, and for whatever reason, it was putting the text I was typing in out of order. So I wrote like typing out of order, and it wrote order of out text typing.
Oh my god.
I don't know what's going on. So I don't know. Maybe you should consider using StreamYards. I have really good experience in getting in StreamYards. When I was holding it vertically with my phone, because that's how we hold it in StreamYards, the button to hit the camera icon, the microphone icon wasn't there. So I was muted and you couldn't see my face.
Oh, that's weird. Oh, that's when the first time I brought you in. Yeah.
Yeah, and I literally was new to the interface. Just so you get the start screen. It says type in your username. Type in the username. I hit go, and you're like, okay, here's Joe. Joe, do you have an actual disagreement? And I was speaking, and Joe wasn't going through.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all good. All good. So my disagreement here is a bit nitpicky, just putting it out there. But I think some of the way you're phrasing your arguments, I think it needs a bit of work when it comes to your pro-abortion talking points. One thing that I'm gonna take into account here is one thing I take into account every time I'm debating abortion is I'm religious. So a lot of my positions on abortion is shaped by a moral issue, how I think God sees it. But I know that the United States is not legislated by the Bible. We're under the Constitution.
Right.
So the problem is when we have Christians who debate abortion is oftentimes they aren't very educated in the subject. They don't know a lot about the development cycle in the womb, what a zygote is, and they cannot make a nuanced argument, and that hurts their cause.
Right.
So what I'm hearing from you is you have this argument of my body, my choice. Well, it is something growing inside of you. Right. I wouldn't conflate it to necessarily your body itself, but it is your choice whether or not to have that baby. So it's I don't know. Like for me, it's going to be really, really hard to get conservatives to hear you out when you use this blatant terminology. Also, social programs in the United States are not great. Like Social Security doesn't have the best reputation, so I'd also take that into account. Your best argument, honestly, against abortion is the adoption system, the foster care system. It's incredibly expensive to adopt, and it's really hard to go through, and a lot of children don't get adopted. So by birthing children into this world without parents, that's a really, really rough circumstance already. And a lot of parents who do have children probably shouldn't because, they don't have a lot of money. They aren't financially well off. So there's those things to consider as well. But I just wanted to bring that up and then see what you kind of thought of that.
Okay, 1 second. Let me get this super chat. I don't want to miss Spinner, and then I want to say something. Spinner, thank you so much. Holy shit. Happy birthday, Shelby. You aren't wrong on half your arguments with Tristan, right? And most people aren't. Come on, let's be real. But yes, thank you so much. Okay. That was a huge super chat. Thank you so much. So here's the thing. I guess maybe when I get into arguments, as you could probably see by last week, I get a bit to the point where I just get sick of it and I call people stupid. I don't have the patience for stupidity. I just don't. When I should see a little bit of self-awareness and know that I don't know every point verbatim. A lot of what I do here is comic book related. That's my fucking passion. But I also know I'm not stupid. I know what's going on with the world. I don't pretend that I know everything, but when I look at points just coming from a woman's perspective, I'm looking at it like an emotional being. And sometimes I need to step back from that and look right into the facts, like you said. You're absolutely right. I think I just need to get to that point where I'm like, this is this is that, instead of being like, you're fucking dumb, goodbye. Like, I get like that.
Yeah, no. What I think your best I've been watching your content. The thing that you're best at, I would say, is bringing up the culture war, and I think that's relevant when you have a lot of people consuming comic books. They're enjoying comic books. Comic books are selling well, but you have a bunch of people who aren't interested in comic books commenting on which comic books are good and that the industry has been dumbed down and taken over by leftists.
Right.
So I think that's a really, really good area and a good position to take. Because when you have something that you enjoy and it's just getting infiltrated by a bunch of people, trying to undermine what you're enjoying and make it not fun, I can certainly see why a lot of comic book fans are frustrated. So
oh yeah,
that
I
to
can
me,
too. But I also think there's a lot better position in it to go, look, hey, this is what I'm enjoying with my video, instead of going, this is what I fucking hate this week. I mean, every once in a while I'll criticize something a little too much, but I would much rather come from a standpoint of, this is why I love this and this is what can improve, instead of going, meh, hands in the air, it's woke. You know what I
so
mean?
right, there are boundaries, I think, where it does feel like certain, I don't know, with art. Art has always been political. We can go back to the 1950s and talk about films like To Kill a Mockingbird, and like things with Sidney Poitier with Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, which covered a lot of racial issues of the time. So social issues have always been covered in media,
Oh yeah.
regardless. And I do get when certain social issues come across as preachy, and a lot of the target demographic do not agree with the social issues that are being presented. And I can see that's frustrating and aliens to people in the audience. So I do kind of get where these people are coming from in a sense. But I think
Right.
there's a balance, because people need to be challenged. But we're living in a society right now that isn't open to being challenged. So everyone is pretty much stuck in their beliefs right now, I'd say. Like
Yeah,
that
I would
gentleman you're
agree.
talking to earlier, he pretty much stated it. He was pretty much correct when he said that, I don't think I'm going to change your mind and you're not going to change mine. So I think the best thing that people can learn to do is just to see the other side and see where they're coming from, and whether or not you agree with it or not, at least understand their positions before you start coming at them sideways. Because if you don't understand where they're coming from and you just treat them as immature, or maybe, how do I put this, evil, especially with those people who are not pro-abortion. Like, you can find people that are not pro-abortion that think people who are pro-abortion are like Satan worshippers. Like, they
Right.
exist.
Right.
It's a crazy world out there. So you have to understand where people are coming from. At the end of the day, I think most people want a positive outcome in society, but right now it's a very divided society. So it's just we're gonna have to ride it out, do our best to hear each other out and be kind. It's pretty
But
much is what it is.
I also do think there is there's value to understanding someone else's positions. Yes. There is also value to dismantling bad arguments. If your only argument is woke and somebody happens to run across my video where I maybe have a little sense in, those are few and far between, but I'm just saying, maybe they'll realize that the whole world isn't tumbling down around them. Maybe they'll take a step back and look and go, okay, so what I've heard, this narrative that's been formed that either the comic book industry is dying, or some, the MCU, these kind of things. If somebody comes across one of my videos dismantling those silly little nitpicky arguments, maybe for once they'll actually look at it from a more objective standpoint and be like, yeah, maybe she has a point here. Maybe she's actually just wanting the best. Maybe she's actually just trying to enjoy what's out there, and maybe I can too. Because a lot of the narrative is everything sucks, everything's bad, everything's black-pilled, and that narrative is repetitive and irritating in my opinion.
So what's your end goal as to having your own version of Disagreement Day?
What's my what?
End goal. Like, what are you trying to achieve with this?
Well, today I was just being lazy. I'm not gonna lie.
Today you were just being lazy.
Generally, I like having good conversations back and forth that don't end in yelling or me hanging up on somebody, to be able to understand each other's opinions, and maybe somebody will look at it and go, okay, yep, I get it. I'm not going to be so critical. Or I'm not going to be so black-pilled, so to speak. It's not going to be everything sucks, everything's terrible. And I hope at some point people can see the other side and actually, for lack of a better term, maybe educate themselves.
Got it. Yeah, I'm just gonna tell you that these type of platforms often become an instigative atmosphere. So you may get hijacked by a lot of the outcome could be you could end up with a lot of conservative trolls just trying to peck at you all the time, which
I get that from
it's already started. But that is quite common. When you talk about politics, nobody is an expert at politics, because what ends up happening is no matter how much experience you have in the like you could have actually been a formal politician, there's still going to be people out there that are going to treat you like idiots and you don't know anything that you're talking about. If you talk politics, you're doomed to be an idiot wherever you go. It just depends who's watching. And essentially what you're going to develop is an audience that agrees with you and follows you. So from what I've determined, is probably going to be more or less independents who don't care for the culture war, who don't care for all the social drama, that want to look more at economic policies and actual policies affecting Americans, such as healthcare. That's not a bad thing. But just be aware of what you're signing up for, because I wasn't when I started talking in politics on the internet. So
yeah, it's definitely a fun thing. Let me get Joseph Santos super chat. Thank you so much. To both, many pro-life states have corporal punishment. This shows that pro-life does mean dyslexia kicking in. This shows that pro-life does mean well-being is equally respected. Why is it not consistent? Because it's never consistent. It's always, unfortunately, rather hypocritical when it comes to capital punishment or pro-life, right? You don't have that consistency, and a lot of times you see people being anti-abortion but being pro-life, which is so fucking mind-blowing to me that they don't see this as a massive, like, hypocritical. Does not mean. I wondered for a second, Joe. I knew what you meant. It just seems rather hypocritical to be okay with the death penalty but not okay with abortion. I don't know. What do you think, Joe?
Well, when it comes to the death penalty, a major problem that I have with the death penalty is sometimes people will be put on the death penalty and then they'll find them innocent later.
Absolutely.
After they're dead.
Yes. And it's too late.
And it's too late. But I do understand that some criminals don't deserve life, especially if they took it. So,
Yep.
Even though I am a Christian and do believe in salvation, sometimes I'm not as forgiving.
I totally get it. I absolutely do. Okay. Joe, thank you so much. You mind if I bring in Quack Geekery?
No, just in closing, keep up the good work. I'm enjoying the channel. I'll be checking in, tuning in. Take care.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much. Thanks, Joe. Joe's a good guy. Definitely a good guy.
Hi, can you hear me?
Oh, that's legally beating kids. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay. Sorry. I thought you meant capital punishment, Joseph Santos. Oh my God. I'm a mess. I told you it was a week. Okay. Hello, Melvin. How are you?
Hi. Pretty good. Pretty good. I've got a relatively minor disagreement.
Sorry about last time, by the way.
Oh, my connection has issues. It's always had issues. It's going to keep having issues. This is probably going to be a relatively quick one. So I just want to make sure, do you think the comic industry is, like, in terms of the direct market and more in terms of Marvel and DC, do you feel that that it's overall on a good trajectory in the next 5 or 10 years?
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's the best trajectory, but yeah.
My opinion is that it's the way that their model is set up is that they're just milking the same set of fans that are going to eventually age out. That they had.
Why they're trying to get younger fans in.
I think that what they're trying to do, like, I like what they're doing with the expansion of Webtoon.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. My disagreement is just like how having movies doesn't necessarily translate into people coming into comic shops. Having video games doesn't translate into people coming into comic shops. About the only thing that works in getting people to come into comic shops is having basically having animation, like cartoons that adapt storylines from comics, and then the kids go in and they read those comics. That's about the only thing that works. If what's on the TV they can't get a print version of, it doesn't work. With Wayne Family Adventures, with the kind of things they have going on Webtoon, unless they've got those kinds of stories being made regularly in the main comic shop, it's not going to translate. Now, they'll be able to make money from Webtoon. I just don't think it's going to translate into the direct market.
Well, they've got new shows coming out, so there's a perfect translation that you were just talking about.
I saw the Wiseman Outsider, the Outsiders arc. I've seen some of the Phantoms arc. They borrow from. It's sort of like they borrow from various storylines and adjust them to what they've done, and it works really well. It's just that it doesn't have that same parallel structure that you have with anime and manga. Like with anime, you know roughly, except for filler arcs, oh, this is coming from a manga. I can go get the manga, and then that has the story more complete, and then you keep going. With Outsiders, I'm like, there aren't really many Outsiders lineups that look like that. But of course, this is more Young Justice, so we wouldn't be looking at.
Aren't they doing a Young Justice comic coming up pretty soon? Maybe June, July. I can't remember exactly.
That Young Justice, I think, was the alternate universe Earth 11.
No, they have a different one also. A new Young Justice comic just announced.
Okay, who do they have? My next question will be, who do they have on it? Because
I don't watch the show. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's on it. But I also know they have the new Superman show coming out and the new Batman show coming out, the animated one. They just did a podcast on Spotify. They're doing the tie-ins with the Earth Prime stuff on CW, and the Superman and Lois one was really good. They're also doing there was one more thing besides the webtoons. I know you like Cami Garcia. She's doing a lot of brilliant stuff. It looks like she might be doing a Blue Beetle book coming up. So I mean, the options are there.
It could just be that I'm more pessimistic by nature. I see it as just from what I'm seeing, it's still aging.
It is. It is. I can absolutely agree to that. But I do think there is a subset of the population that's still interested in superheroes. I do think that we're seeing that by the success of stuff like Beast Boy and Raven. And the other one she did with Harley that was real cool.
Criminal Sanity.
Yeah. I think Cami Garcia is a gem. They need to give her the most exclusive contract they can and keep her. But I also think that that they need to be a little you're more pessimistic, I'm more optimistic. They need to go down the middle and make sure that they are catering to that audience when it comes to really focusing on it. And I'm not saying there's plenty of books right now that cater to me and the aging audience, but they need to start bringing them in younger. And I do think they're going to be able to do that. And I don't think, like you said, you're worried about the direct market in the next 5 to 10 years. I don't think that that's as big of an issue as what you think. We've been saying this forever, 5 to 10 years, and it's going to be gone. No, I don't think that that's the option. Do I think maybe they'll go to OGNs or something like that? Go to trades only? Maybe. And that's okay. I don't have an issue with that. But I don't think it's all as doom and gloom as necessarily maybe you do.
I feel like I may have given my conclusion without giving my my basis.
Okay, go ahead. I'm so sorry.
All right. Well, it's not you. That was a me thing, because I need to see where you were. My perspective is right now, Viz, I swear that what they're doing in the direct market is like they're going up by like 25 to 50% each year in terms of their sales in the direct market when Comic-Con was putting stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
So my tinfoil hat is the kids that were reading manga in the bookstores when they were in their teens went to college and then started going to comic shops that, for Magic the Gathering and all that, and they took that manga buying habit with them.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is the people that jump into comic shops in the direct market, they were usually coming in their 20s from the, in their college years. And I'm remembering this from the stuff I read from the when I was getting ready for my one time on with you from a ways back on my old channel that I got rid of. Point is, those college kids, not necessarily some that are college graduates, some that just have some college, but those are the kind of people that they basically catered to in the direct market, with all the assorted geek stuff, not just comics, but comics, card games, board games, you name it.
Right.
If those kids are coming in being, I hate to say indoctrinated, accultured to manga,
mm-hmm.
and the price point of manga, they're going to stick with that.
Right.
And my idea, my pessimism is it's going to take more than having, first, Kami Garcia. I love her. I love the work that she's done in comics. I went to my local library. There is an actual shelf of her print books.
Oh,
I
that's
kid
awesome.
you not. Yeah, here's the thing. How do you pay for someone like that?
That's a really good question. They need to, yeah, and it's not just her. They need to.
N.K. Jemison's book is still in the top 100. But I'm like, N.K. Jemison has a shelf in my. She has a shelf. First off, N.K. Jemison has a shelf in my local Barnes and Noble. So does Kami Garcia.
Oh, wow.
So they have almost a shelf in my local Barnes and Noble.
In that book, in that shelf?
No, it's in the graphic novel section, but it does well. It does well in graphic novel sales. But I'm like, N.K. Jemison doesn't need to write comics at all.
Right.
She's not going to sit there and take the $100 a page rate when, I'm not even kidding. I wound up making a comment on Thinking Critical, and Aaron Sparrow basically said that he got paid more for writing one episode of Young Justice than he would writing a year's worth of issues for an indie comic. He didn't give on any specifics because he's a professional, but I'm like, that's about what I thought. And I'm like, well, unless they're like 500 pages to write a single 22-minute cartoon, which turns out not to be the case. Basically, it's just like with a TV. It's about 1 to 2 maybe 3 pages of script page for every 1 minute of screen time. So in the same way with a comic book, it's usually about 1 page of comic script for 1 page of art. I'm like, if that's how it works on average, you're talking about the same amount of writing, a little bit more writing for a TV show than for a comic.
That's also why they only have them for 1 episode. They switch in and out writers to save money that way. But yeah, that's really unfortunate. They need to pay people more, but then at the end of the day, when they pay people more, they're like books like I think I figured it out with what was it? Tom King's terrible one. I can't think of what it's called. Heroes in Crisis. That book made $1 million by itself. Why wasn't Tom King paid more? I know a lot of people don't like that book. I get it. But Tom King can write. He's clearly showing that by Killing Time. In order to keep top tier talent, you have to be willing to pay top tier pricing. And look, what do we have now? We've got newbies. I love Jeremy Adams, but he's a newbie. Stephanie Phillips, a newbie. I don't know why Vita Ayala, I'm not a big fan of theirs. I don't know if they even sell books. I don't know. I would have to look into it. But we're getting subpar talent as compared to somebody like James Tinian, who they lost to Substack, as compared to somebody like your Scott Snyders. They need to be willing to pay top tier talent if they want to keep moving forward. And unfortunately, I don't know why they don't see that. I think, and I've said this since the merger, can you not hump your brother? Hush. Okay, so my cats are confused. But I've said this since the Discovery merger. This is only good. They want to make money. This means they're going to bring in people that can move books.
My concern is that the way they, and I love me some Bram V. Putting him on, right. I'm like, at the same time, I remembered that, and this is where it gets me. If I'm the guy who likes it, I might not be the person that they need to buy it to grow it. Like, they need someone who can reach the 20 somethings, not the 30 somethings.
Yeah,
but
you're
man,
right. That's a good point.
Ram V, even before that, Joelle Jones, when she was writing Catwoman, I like that too.
Yep.
And I'm like, you know what? There was a similar issue with Chuck Dixon, that a lot of their good writers that had stuff that really did do well on the graphic novel side was geared towards an older readership, and eventually people would switch over to it. Right. And I'm like, right now, that's great if their plans are to eventually shift over into graphic novels, but that's not going to be, there's going to be too much of a loss if they don't have the direct market. They really do need that for some time. So I think that's about it for our disagreement, because this is going to this would be like a roundtable with other YouTubers, and I'm not.
Yeah,
really
I need to get you back on. Actually,
I haven't been able to make that much content. I'm still getting used to the new job. Yeah,
your videos are so good, but yes, make sure you do. Well, make sure you guys subscribe to Quant Geekery is his name now. I think third name since you've been on YouTube. Always the best sales analysis videos. I'm not even kidding.
I would say Perch has the best sales analysis videos, but he doesn't do a lot of them because he's got a whole bunch of stuff. That's kind of the reason I got into it. Well, I can't even go back to. Yeah, I'm still lamenting having to get rid of my. Now that I realize that it was actually pretty good that there were no charges pressed, because apparently, if someone says they don't want you to do scrapes, you can't do them. I did not know that, and I'm gonna have to look up everything if I ever do that again, because. Oh, wow. So yes, I'm gonna have to head out, and thank you. I'll be listening in the chat.
Thank you for coming on. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Have a blessed one. See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Joseph.
Holy shit, it's me. Hi, how you doing?
I am
actually
good.
worked this time. Oh, good. But before I go on, can you actually hear me right now? Because I have a fan on.
Yeah, you're fine. You're totally fine.
You don't hear the fan at all?
Yeah, a little bit, but it's all right.
Okay, well, I can move away from it. That's not that important. Okay. Hello again.
Hello again.
So I'm seeing that Hominus is pro-hump. Okay.
Everywhere community, thank you so much. DC needs to write regular novels. Actually, they do. They are the Icon series. I actually did a breakdown of one of them, but nobody liked it, so I never did any more of the Black Canary book. And they're working on one right now for Catwoman, I want to say. But yes, they have that one. They have a Batman one and Wonder Woman. I think they have yes, I know they have a Superman one. Yeah, they have some regular novels about it too. They're really, really good. And there's some audibles too. Definitely worth checking out everywhere community. Thank you so much. Joseph, how are ya?
I'm good. It's hot as fuck in California right now. That's why I'm near a fan. So sorry if it's.
Imagine. Oh no, you're fine.
No, it was 102 in my truck yesterday, and that was at 3 in the afternoon. And that was with the AC going. No, it's it's really bad right now. So before we go on, first of all, I'm seeing that Hominus is pro-hump.
Yes, these cats are so confused. You know, you know what? As many times as I've stuck up for the LGBT community, it's wearing off on my cats. Apparently.
What you need now on your channel is flair, pro-hump and pro-hush.
Oh my gosh.
It adds up great. Okay, we did not finish our conversation last Sunday.
No, we did not.
That's half my fault. This app sucks.
Wait, is it Restream?
Yes.
Are you using it from your phone?
Yes.
That's probably why.
Well, here's the thing. Like I said, to actually unmute, because everything starts muted. including video. So if you want to unmute, you have to scroll all the way to the bottom, but you don't know that at first.
Aha.
So yeah, so right off the bat, that's why so many people are calling in. They're not getting anything done. You got to scroll all the way down.
See, I never use it on my phone, and the problem I have with StreamYard.
Hi, Bianca. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Bianca's awesome.
Isn't she?
The problem I have with StreamYards is like, say me and Bianca are doing a stream together, she can put it on her channel too. With StreamYards, you can't do that. That's the reason I like this more.
Oh, okay. So you guys cross streaming right now?
No. I just mean when we stream together. When I stream with anyone, they can put it on their channel.
Okay. Well, let's catch people up. Let's talk about where we actually left off, where the conversation was actually productive to begin with.
Yes.
So first off, this started last Wednesday, I believe it was. Yeah, it was last Wednesday. You said nobody really wants free speech. I said I do, and so that's why I called in. So you opened with the question about certain actions regarding minors, and here's what I followed up with. How you express yourself as an individual, that doesn't translate into what what you mentioned there. That's not the same thing. It's about, how you express yourself, you over there, not you and them. Those are two different things. So you can't call theft, you'll get to call theft personal expression. Okay, you don't get to steal the neighbor's car and call it freedom of expression. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
Okay. So I continued using pictures as an example, because that's come up in the news before. Things like women at the beach in vulnerable moments. There's debate. Well, if you're out in public, people can see you. Why can't they take pictures? And then some people say, no, just not certain pictures, especially not vulnerable moments. In continuation, I brought up a story that happened to me about 12 years, or excuse me, I shouldn't say it happened to me, but it's a story. I was there for someone to tell me this. So about 12 years ago, in some apartments I lived at, some neighbors, all female, were moving out because they said the apartment manager was in the bushes taking pictures of the kids. That's what she said. 2 days later, I end up talking to someone working for the apartment manager, saying no, those people were actually kicked out because they were told not to leave their kids unsupervised at the pool 4 times. They were told they will be removed if they keep doing this, because they were condos, like 2 stories. So what they would do, they let the kids swim all they want, and they would just watch the kids from the upstairs balcony. Again, not the rule.
Right.
You can't get kicked out for that. Okay, and they got kicked out for that. But on the way out, they framed it like the manager had problems. Okay, but here's a question I meant to ask that I didn't get to ask last week. So with that in mind, here's why I'm more supportive of free speech than not. Because if the rules are too strict, then you run the risk of writing rules that may inadvertently punish good people that may actually be trying to do the right thing. So let's say that story, by example, let's say he just absolutely was not supposed to take those pictures, but he's also liable if something happens to those kids. So he has no way to save his job.
Right.
So that's what I want to send your way. With that in mind, do you think it is better to write the rules so that mistakes are allowed, or do you really think when it comes to, I guess, where you think restrictions apply, it really should be zero tolerance?
Oh, that's a hard one.
I agree, it's a hard one too. And don't get me wrong, I'm not here to tell you that's an easy question. I have it all figured out. I am here to tell you that is a hard question. And like I said, my tendency is to write the rules so that good people, if not make mistakes, or at least write the rules so that we can judge the intentions of people.
Right. And I do think there should always be some sort of road to redemption type thing. But I've always, for a very long time at this channel, I would call myself a free speech absolutist. And I would look and think, and nothing should be censored, right? Nothing. Save for what we talked about, nothing should be censored. But then then stories come up, and I'm just going to use it as an example because it's recently this Buffalo thing that happened. is the idea of censoring and
Well, let me try and help you because I'm new to that story too. So I came across that. Oh, I came across the story yesterday, but I'm only seeing it in headlines today. I didn't really read about it. I just when it comes to things like that, I just look at the headlines. You know, people are seeing them in news more and more today. I'm in Southern California. I'm just outside the LA County. When on the news, people were seeing what would seem like one or two shootings every 2 or 3 weeks on major news networks. I had two friends that work for LAPD to tell you that on average in 2018, there were 3 or 4 handgun related incidents on a weekly basis. And most of that is not in the news. So, and not to say I'm numb to it, just saying I didn't have the same reaction as people. I'm not I didn't go and read the headline and try to figure out what was going on. Just a lot of times I didn't read any articles about it, try to figure it out. A lot of times the headline says it all.
Well, here's the thing.
And I know it was. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, have you heard of the Great Replacement theory?
I have not. You mentioned that today, I think, and I honestly don't know the details.
Basically, it is a story of little Timmy. He's a little white boy. He goes to school, and he's the only white boy left. And basically, white people being replaced. The Great Replacement theory. That there are people out there, whether it's some sort of
well, not in those words, but that's mostly like a Christian theory. It's like a Christian conspiracy theory. If we're talking about the same thing, that's why you had people marching outside of Charlottesville or all throughout the Carolinas saying Jews will not replace us.
Yes, but that's exactly what I mean. Okay. Is that idea that spreads, that just this absolutely bonkers idea spreading something that should be censored? Because I've been free speech my entire life. But looking at what happened yesterday, that's what this man believed at 18 years old. He believed in it so much that they went through, like, Tucker Carlson went through his show, I guess. I don't know what it's called. I don't watch him. But like the New York Times found that he mentioned it every single day. This idea, should something like that be censored to try to prevent this? But then I go back and forth and I'm like, crazies exist in every subset of life. So why censor somebody, even if they are spreading misinformation, disinformation, malicious information? Do you take that and take that kind of microphone away from them because of what could possibly happen? And that's where I'm kind of like at the point where I'm like, is that a censorable idea? Because they're censoring critical race theory.
Well, I have plenty of bad things to say about critical race theory too, but let me talk about what you're bringing up here. So an idea by itself, in fact, I can actually bring critical race theory into this too. An idea by itself isn't anything. I'm saying that as an atheist. I'm one of those science first types, but I don't believe in, let's say, if I were given the option to just abolish religion from the planet, I wouldn't do that. Or even outlaw it, to say even just viewing this material should be punishable by some kind of criminal sentencing. I absolutely would not do that, because that's punishing human curiosity. But as far as, but you're talking about ideas that seem specifically designed to incite, specifically designed to incite violence, or at least to inspire paranoia, put people on defense and such. To that, I say the problem isn't the idea. The idea by itself is harmless. Like I say, I have plenty of bad things to say about religion, but by itself, it's harmless. It doesn't have to harm you if you don't want it to. What I see is that what the real problem is that people have for some reason a sense of motivation to act on these ideas.
Right.
So I don't blame ideas, I blame their motives. So what are their motives? Okay, in that case, so you had these are religious conspiracy theories. And what happens, what brings somebody to that point, yes, is a lot of fear and paranoia. And I don't agree with that approach at all. You have people there that will say, like this guy, and like I said, I didn't read the article. I'm sorry, but I
Oh no,
know
you're
now that
totally
you're
fine.
giving me the detail. Right, so now that you're giving me that detail, I understand what's going on. I can imagine what went on in that boy's mind. He was raised into these ideas. He was told that his skin color has marked him for better or worse, and he's gonna live a life where he has to defend it. And that's not unlike things that I was raised to believe. Because as much as Fox News likes to lean on the border and talk about things like people like MS-13, and it seems exaggerated, it really is hard to exaggerate that kind of problem, that kind of criminal culture when people talk about coming from Mexico. First off, MS-13 started in El Salvador, or the members were from El Salvador. They got their start in Los Angeles when they really formed. Basically, if you close off the southern border, you not stop the MS-13 problem at all. It's by and large a domestic U.S. problem. It's so bad that natives in El Salvador don't want Americans either born in El Salvador or even if you were, say you were born in El Salvador, raised in America, they don't want you back in El Salvador because of the gang problem. You see headlines within about 3 weeks ago, there were 6,000 gang arrests, and people are wondering if that's enough. Yeah, there are videos of it. You have hundreds or thousands, like they're all sitting down in this steaming hot pavement because they don't have enough cells for those people, so they're locked up outside. And people are still wondering if that's enough, but it's a real serious problem. So what I'm getting at though, when I hear stories like that about this guy that was raised into believing something, I don't believe he read this idea that Jews are replacing him and said, I must fight back. I think there is a culture of conditioning him into becoming this person that would act on these bad ideas. And like I said, growing up around those people, I do know how they think, and I know that takes time. So here's another it's typically a religious argument. I don't espouse this idea where people think you have to hurt kids to make them better. That's asinine. I could go on and on about that problem. That's a different conversation, but let's just stick to this. So that's typically what we're told, that if they're not hurt for certain times, for certain actions, they'll grow into it and they'll become worse. Contrarily, no, that's not the truth. Though a lot of those kids that grew into criminal culture, a lot of those kids were beaten until they became that way.
Right.
And that's because empathy gets in the way of making these people. So they can give you an example. I learned about this in 2000, like early 2000s. And I have a lot of family that's in law enforcement. This is nothing new to them. So this 14-year-old, he wanted to get into one of the larger gangs in LA. And this is how they initiate you. The kid had to buy a gun by himself, load it, no gloves. He had to load it and use it, kill somebody, and the victim had to show up in the obituaries. If not, he had to try again.
Yes.
That's not even the worst part. He has to give the gun to the gang. That way, if he ever crosses the gang, they're just going to turn him in. And then that's it. That's just to make sure you're in for life. This kid got caught. I think he's somewhere, let me see, I think he was sentenced between 20 and 25 years at age 14. Mm-hmm. That kid didn't just see something on the news, or he didn't just hear about it at school and think it was a good idea. There's even a good chance that mom and dad, yes, mom and dad, both, there's a good chance that they got him into it. They may not have even been in the gang specifically. Sometimes, yeah, dad is, mom isn't. What can happen because of those neighborhoods, mom and dad will tell this boy, we can't be here for you all the time. You need to make friends. And they make the wrong friends.
Right.
But they grow up alongside those friends. They adopt a lot of bad ideas along the way. It gets conditioned in their minds over time. It's not an overnight thing. And like I said, when they are raised into it, let's say they are raised into it. Those kids will get beat until they become like the criminal. And it could be a daily thing. It could be because dad's in a bad mood too.
Right.
And so when I see somebody like that making the news, like this guy in Buffalo, I don't just look to these bad ideas. I ask myself what made him the kind of person to interpret a clearly bad idea as a solution, and does he even like? Let's say if we were to ask this guy how many Jews he knows, do you think he has an answer? I mean that because I don't know Jews from everybody else.
Right.
I'm
Exactly.
serious.
And I think that's a better way to look at it, because I've been on the line when it comes to the idea of free speech, or if hateful rhetoric should be censored or not. And it's been something I've been back and forth with for a while now, and I'm like, is that just the left in me coming out, or am I being too? You're right. You got to look at the culture that surrounds it to actually understand, and you got to try to improve upon it, but it doesn't seem like a lot of that is ever happening. They go to gun control, they go to this, they go to that.
Mm-hmm.
Why not get the solution from where it actually starts, or get the solution where it starts? And that's kind of impossible with the way that the world is divided.
Well, like you said, the world is divided, and that's really the problem. That is at the core of it. Really, there are too many disagreements over what right and wrong really are.
Yeah.
So that's why we're seeing. That's why it seems like real problems in the world are getting worse. And when I say real problems, I'm seeing all this stuff in the news where people are fighting over pronouns. Like I said, I got 2 friends in LAPD that are dealing with gun violence on a near daily basis. Yeah. They are dealing with life and death problems. So, what you're talking about, though, like you said, the left coming out of you. I have a better idea. Leave the political spectrum out of it, because part of what's going on is that people are validating the political spectrum by always talking about it. Everything you see is now left and right, no matter what. Like, remember, like even in comics. Actually, the reason I started watching your channel is because I wanted to see if this problem was carrying over in the comics. And resoundingly, the answer is yes. Yeah, well, yeah. I'm learning that from you. Yeah, like I'm learning about your frustrations too. I'm learning about that from you. And that right there is part of the problem, though, because in validating left versus right, people do start asking themselves where they belong. And you hear people try, I guess they try and be in the middle, and they say, yeah, middle, sometimes this way, sometimes that way. It's not a real thing. The only reason I don't find it even a meaningful thing, the political spectrum, except that people put themselves in boxes based on labels along the spectrum. So when I talk about left and right, I'm talking about how people label themselves. I'm not talking about how I see them personally. That's the only way. That's really the only way I find it useful. Outside of that, I just think it's bullshit. In fact, growing up, because especially right now, you're going to see both Democrats and Republicans. They're trying hard to compete for the Latino vote, and it's not going to work the way they think it will, because most of them weren't conditioned to believe in left versus right. They just looked at different ideas and whether are they good ideas or bad ideas, what works for you, really. That's largely how they see it. So you're seeing them compete for really what they would be competing for is an independent vote.
Right.
It's like, but if they're trying to organize it as skin color and which political party they belong to, which yes, both of them are trying to do it, it's not going to work. It's 100% not going to work. Like I said, well, not 100%, but for the most part, it's not going to work. Like I said, it's a lot better to just leave the political spectrum out of it. Tell me what you see. So let me pass it on to you. What do you see?
I don't know. You know what? We'll continue. I have to go because I had to go at 10, but
okay,
we're going to put a pin in it because I do want to continue this conversation because I think it's a really good one. So next week.
Sunday, same time?
Yep, same thing.
Sunday, same time.
That channel.
Okay, you're going to start at the same time? Because if you start,
hopefully 6.
Okay, that's even better because I get out of work at 4:30, so that gives me plenty of time. I'll be ready. I'll try and be first if I can.
All right, sounds good. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much, Joseph. I really appreciate it. Great conversation with everybody tonight. You made me call him dumb. Right.
Oh, by the way, before you go anywhere, what do you think my avatar is?
Winnie the Pooh.
And what's he doing?
Is he taking a shit?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Not only that, I have to send you the original picture. There's another one from a different angle. He's shitting out himself.
Oh my god!
A smaller version of himself. But it's really funny when you see the original because the big one's face is in such devout pain, but then the little one's just happy.
Oh, I can kind of see it now if I squint real hard. Oh my god, that's so funny. Oh my god.
Okay.
All
I just
right,
had to see if anybody figure that out.
We will see you guys next time. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Joseph. Bye, guys.